Hello there and welcome to this brand new show on Good News Television. Every single week as of today, we're going to be bringing you a very fascinating guest, an interesting guest, and above all, a guest who is successful in his or her chosen field of endeavor. Today we're going to start by talking with Dr. Sam Paul. Now, don't even let me start about Dr. Sam Paul. He's involved in very many businesses, all of which are a huge success. In restaurants, in educational institutions, in salons, and in gyms. And in recent years, he's actually moved into the area of media. So it's our great pleasure to welcome Sam Paul into our studio today. Sam, thank you so much for coming in.
Such a pleasure to be in your presence, first of all.
No. Now tell me something. You do so many things.
Right.
I was just thinking about your foodie obsession. Now, did you actually cook as a child? Where did you get interested in food?
I eat a lot as a child. You can see the 250 pounds.
Yeah, right.
So yeah, well, I mean, food is something that's been very special to our heart. So it's not a very easy field to get into. So when we first ventured into the food field, I think it was way back in 2005 when we started our small unit called Casa Piccola. It's a European restaurant which we franchised from Bangalore to Chennai. We were running it for almost 6 to 7 years, and finally the lease got over, and then we handed it over. The brand got closed down internationally and stuff like that. But it was a cult back in the day, and in fact, quite proud to say that we were the first people who kind of introduced risottos, parmigianas, and stuff like
Italian
that.
Food, yes.
Specific Italian food. So we wanted to reinvent the brand. So we later tied up with Chef Willie from the park,
Right.
And we opened a new restaurant chain called Jonah's.
Now, tell me about that. Interesting name, first of all.
Yeah, named after my son, Jonah.
Okay, lovely.
Who's named after Jonah Lomo,
Oh.
rugby player.
Yeah.
So Jonah is a European bistro, which is also a fusion. So it's a story we tell in every restaurant. So the first is the original Jonah's, which is pure European. The second is in Phoenix Mall, which is a European Japanese fusion. So it's called Jonah's Goes to Japan.
Right.
The third one is called Jonah's Goes to Malabar Coast right here, which is European, South Indian, West Coast food.
Did you anticipate this kind of success in the food industry? I'm sure it's a tough industry to be in.
It's a very tough industry to be in because you need to count your onions and tomatoes in this business, and you need to be very to the point. And in India's market where there are not strict laws, then you have to be hands-on in this department. And it's a very tough business, but there's no two ways of looking at it because we want to be in the business because we have Jonah's, which is around 5-6 restaurants strong. Then we have something called Pink Potato, which is a pure vegetarian concept. And then we have Häagen-Dazs ice cream, which belongs to us. We have around 4 restaurants of them. Then we run a restaurant called Nellai Nadar Mess, which is a very South Indian Chettinad cuisine. So these are some of the models we've done, and we're further expanding into future models like a German doner kebab, which will be QSR, quick service restaurant.
Right.
And we're also getting into some ice creams and stuff like that. Yeah.
They say that food is big business, Sam, and you're obviously proving that it is big business, but it's also a risky business, isn't it? It could go down the tubes at any point of time.
Correct. The thing is, food is not exactly a big business, and that's a big...
Is it a myth?
It's a big myth, to be honest, because food is a big business when you have liquor attached to it.
Okay.
And as a principle, I've not done that because I don't drink or smoke, so I've kept it like I don't do any liquor in my restaurants. But if you have liquor along with it, then it becomes big business.
So it's even more difficult for you then?
Right, but we like to break that idea of not being successful as a restaurant. See, many restaurants are not doing well, but we have been very successful and very professional about the entire outfit. So we're doing quite well, yeah.
Now, I was reading that you don't have very much of a staff turnover. I mean, you do have people who hang in there with you. Now, is this in fact a sign of good leadership?
So the company's name is called Paulson's. What we in Paulson's believe is that you need to develop leaders. You can't develop staff with you. So unless you have leaders working for you, then the company is not growing. So that is what all my staff, I don't call them my staff, they are leaders, and they lead each department. And there's a president who has been with me for over 10 years from the day one, where we started with 2 of us. Now this company is around 4,000 staff strong. We have around 170 outlets right now.
Right. So you've also gone into the business of gyms and salons. I mean,
Right.
your salons, I'd like to draw you out on that. Tell me, how did you decide to actually diversify into these different areas?
I mean, there is some kind of God's grace in all this, that which we cannot deny. And if I were to claim that I did all this, then that will be stupidity. But that also has to say that, you know, there's a lot of some kind of karma or God's grace that is there, you know, because Tony, I'm a guy who has never been to a salon to do a pedicure or manicure and stuff like that. And we hold the biggest chain in India right now. Tony guy is around 140, 50 shops with us right now. And this is a niche segment, it's not a mass segment also. So Tony guy, how it started was in, I think 2009, 2010, and we were talking to some friends and they said, you have to open Tony and Guy. And I'm like, what is Tony and what is Guy? So that's how it started. And from there to here, I think we brought the brand to India by 2011. And by 2011, then we started studying the brand, how to modify the brand to Indian standards, which is very important because Tony and Guy per se is a brand that only caters to hair, dressing and hair coloring.
Right.
They will not give you allied services like facial, threading, waxing and everything, because today's Indian women need all this in the same place.
Right.
So how to incorporate all this into the salon? So we took 2-3 years. So till 2015 we were just at 4 or 5. Right now we are 130, 140 salons.
How do you cope? How do you manage, I mean, this many outlets?
Good leaders handling everything, and there are really good leaders who handle everything, who are part of Paulson. I won't say they work for Paulson, who lead Paulson's, and that's how we look at things. Yeah.
Right. You've also moved into the exercise and the fitness industry as well.
Right.
So let's talk about that, Sam.
Slam Fitness Studios is our brand, and see, most of the fitness studios in India are fitness studios. They are not into extreme fitness.
What's the difference?
Yeah, fitness is like where you go to treadmills, where you use, they say do a little bit of this, a little bit of that, but we say get big or die freaking trying.
So I want to draw you out on that.
Yeah, so the thing is, it's a bodybuilding gym. So we are an extreme fitness gym where bodybuilding is a sport and we encourage bodybuilding. Now, for example, a guy like me who's been working out for 20 years can't go to a fitness gym and do bodybuilding. But a guy who wants to do fitness can come to an extreme fitness gym and compete with the bodybuilder and still do fitness at that level. So we teach a lot of things like functional fitness and other things also. We teach a lot of yoga also. So your warm up and everything is done through functional fitness and yoga, and still we ask you to lift weights. So that's the mantra behind this.
So you're a pretty good advertisement for your gym. Do you go to your own gym?
Yeah, I go to the Kilpauk brand. Yeah.
You do, is it?
Yeah,
okay. Yeah. Of these three businesses that we've talked about, the restaurants and the salons and the gyms, is there any one of these that's particularly profitable? I mean, at the end of the day, you're in business.
The salon industry is a very profitable industry.
Really? As opposed to food?
Of course, anytime, yeah.
Really?
Yeah, salon industry is a very highly profitable industry, yeah.
Okay. Have you seen this industry become more popular over the years since you started it?
See, I wouldn't credit for this, but see, the thing is, before we came into the industry, the salon industry was a place where the staff were treated as barbers. See, for example, there's a Indian
mindset, really.
Yeah, right. They look at barbers down. You know, they're not allowed to sit before you. They would stand and they have to talk to you. And
that's crazy.
Right. And 2009, when we came in, we changed that. We brought the British system into India, where these are hairdressers. They are artists.
Absolutely.
So they sit with you. They consult with you. They understand what you need. And that consultation is the most important part of the day. And then they sit and cut the hair also sometimes.
Right.
Depends on how comfortable they are. As long as you get your what you are looking for, there's no ego there. And most of these hairdressers make $1.5 lakh and all today.
It's a lot of money.
At the age of 25 to 30.
Right. Sam, may I ask you to hold your thoughts then? We're going to get back to you. In the meantime, we're just going to take a very short break. Please don't go anywhere because we're going to get right back. Stay there.